Hi, this is Courtney from GrayLaw TV, and I want to tell you what I tell all of my clients when we're sitting in the waiting room waiting to be called in for an interview. So you're sitting in the waiting room with a lot of other people, and sometimes you may have to wait an hour, 2 hours. I've been there as long as 3 hours, unfortunately. So set aside a little bit of time. Get there very early. I would say get there an hour early so you can figure out parking, get in line. If there's line for security, sometimes the lines can wrap around the block, particularly in downtown LA or other big cities, so that you can get in, figure out where you're going, get upstairs, get to the waiting room, meet your lawyer, and if you're meeting me, this is what I'm going to tell you. The officer's going to come out, they're going to call you by name. I'll walk back in there with you, and they'll probably tell you to remain standing, to raise your right hand, and they'll ask you, do you swear to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you? And you say yes, and then you sit down, and then they'll launch right into the interview. Now, depending on the officer's style, they can do it any number of ways. If you need to present them with evidence, for example, it's marriage-based, and if it is marriage-based, I suggest that you watch our other videos about marriage-based petitions. They may ask you just to present all of your evidence, or they may ask you, oh, present your taxes, now present this, now do you have photos? So just listen to what exactly that particular officer is asking you for and give them what they're asking you. If they ask you a question, answer it simply and honestly and directly. Don't elaborate. No need to make the interview longer than it needs to be. Typically they're around 20 minutes or so. Or the officer could start with the form, and they're always going to go through the form, your name, your address, all things that you know, and then they'll ask you a series of questions on the form that I find offensive, but they have to ask. It's their job. They're not trying to offend you. They're just doing their job, and they'll ask if you're a communist, if you're a terrorist, if you're here to overthrow the government, if you owe any back taxes. If you're alcoholic, if you're a prostitute. I always mention that one, particularly to couples, because I got a gentleman who got very upset when they asked his wife if she was a prostitute. They have to ask these questions, and typically the answer is no, 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 no. But if you have been arrested or something does come up, and you be honest with them, because most likely they already know. They just want to see if you're going to be forthright with an immigration officer. The only thing that you really can't recover from is lying to an officer. They don't like that, and that's a grounds for them to deny your petition. So go in there, be prepared. I suggest that you be there with a lawyer. If your lawyer is there, typically they just sit right behind you and don't interfere unless the officer says something that's inappropriate or does something that's inappropriate, which they usually don't do anyway, but they especially don't do that if a lawyer is sitting there. So take a deep breath. You're going to be fine. You'll see that everybody in the waiting room is nervous. I always tell my clients, watch the people coming out of the door, because they usually have smiles on their faces, and you will too. So I hope you enjoyed this video. Thanks for watching. For more videos, click on the link below, and don't forget to like and subscribe.